Hey there, friends. Welcome to another episode of the Common Kaiser Show. First one in quite some while. I haven't recorded since November, kind of a busy Christmas season. So it's good to have another guest here with us today. This gentleman and we graduated from the same high school, 2015. Can't believe that was like, what, 6 years ago? But anyway, we graduated together then. Currently, he is an what fancy talk entrepreneur, if you want me to use that word.
Sure, I like
Yes,
it.
sure, business owner. He's an online fitness coach. Beyond just fitness, or was it more than muscle? I saw both of them. Which one should I go with?
Beyond Fit, we're doing a little bit of rebranding, so it's Beyond Fit. So
Okay, Beyond Fit. Okay, just want to make sure because I saw both of those
yeah,
and had seen you kind of use those words interchangeably. I'll drop links for that in the podcast description episode at the end or whenever you read that. But yeah, he currently resides is at Uniontown, Ohio, kind of Cantony area, if I'm remembering
yep,
correctly. All right.
yes, sir.
So yeah, anyway, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Tim Carr. Tim, welcome to the show. It's fantastic to have you here, man.
I appreciate you having me, dude. I'm so excited for this. I just like talking and shit. It's so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's a good time. Was there anything that I probably should have mentioned there? I don't know. Sometimes I leave things out.
I mean, I think you got it. I mean, what I do and where we met, things like that. I think it's perfect. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal. I can't believe when you brought up the high school. I can't believe 6 years ago.
I
I,
know.
I always lose track. Like, did we graduate in 15 or 14? 15.
2015.
Okay.
Yeah,
I couldn't. I always forget when I graduated.
yeah, no, it's been a few years. But yeah, all right. Well, let's get started with the warm up. So, you ready for the first question?
Hit me, man. Give me some softballs.
All right. So, if you could turn any activity into an Olympic sport that is not lifting, what would you have a good chance of winning a medal for? Or is that not a softball?
well, I would say
Curveball.
golf, but didn't they make golf an Olympic sport?
I don't know. Is
I,
golf? I
I,
mean,
I thought they turned golf into an Olympic sport, but if it wasn't, I would say golf.
all right, let me see. Is golf an Olympic sport? I mean, they canceled Tokyo, so.
Yeah,
Oh,
they did.
has been in it twice, 1904, 1900. It was in Rio. So I guess, yeah, is golf 2020? Golf. Yeah, so it looked like it was going to be, but and then
Well,
again,
shit.
are they even going to have the Olympics anymore?
If not golf, then pool, like table pool, like at the bowling alley. Then
Uh,
I'd be the next one. I have the best chance at winning it,
I
which I would
uh,
still probably lose. But I mean,
only one way to find out.
that's
All
right.
right, second question. On a scale of 1 to 10, rate your own driving.
8. I give you an 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, well, at least you didn't say 10. Do you know
No.
stick shift?
No, honestly,
Okay,
no.
okay.
I did it when I did some driving school, but I'm not very familiar with it at all.
My favorite is the people who say 10, and then I ask them, what do you know stick? And they're like, no. It's like, how do you say 10 to that? You don't
Yeah.
even know stick. All right, well, at least you didn't say 10. All right, so if you had to listen to one song on repeat during an entire workout, what would it be?
Ooh, I this changes like interchangeably, but I have a few songs. It like goes on what's hot. Right now, there's a song called Fake Woke by Tom McDonald. The
Fake
beat
woke?
the beat is just nasty, dude. Like I'm just like vibing to the beat the whole time. It's just I love it.
Hmm.
Before that, Till I Collapse by Eminem is it's always a classic, dude.
Hmm.
It's always a good one as well. But
All
right
right,
now, I'll probably say Fake Woke is the one I do all the time on repeat.
fake woke. Get woke, right?
Get
All
woke,
right,
bro.
yeah. Sure. What was a pet you had while growing up?
I get a dog. It's still alive, so it's not really
Oh,
was. So
okay.
it is
That's
still.
good.
I guess you could say a pet that was fish because they're all dead now.
Oh, rip. Oh no. Did he have a name or she have a name?
We had a whole tank of. I don't remember any of their names. So honestly, I'm
Okay.
so bad.
It's all good.
And I
I
go
remember when
ahead,
I was in
sorry.
college, attend or tried to attend a funeral for a fish. They didn't have it, but so fish, people take them personally, so I get that. Was it a goldfish, you said?
They had a bunch of them. They were like the silver dollars. There was, we had a Japanese fighting fish. That thing died quick. And then there was a
Mm,
couple other like small ones. I can't remember what they are. We had a goldfish in there. A
mm,
couple of those like bottom feeder suction ones that stick to the glass. We had a lot of those. So
mm.
it's kind of like for decor. I mean, we use living animals to make our living room look better. So whatever.
There you go. There you go. What would you say is a small thing that makes your day better?
Small thing that makes my day better. Ooh, reading.
Reading.
That sounds nerdy as fuck, but I love to read.
Sure, there you go. Reading.
Everyone,
Word.
everyone is the last thing. It's the last thing everyone expects from me, but I love reading.
You like a novel or like a self-help kind of book?
I'm like self help. I really like things about. I'm really big into some of the finance books now. I'm starting to get into those.
Like Dave
Um,
Ramsey?
Fuck Dave Ramsey, dude.
Ew, no thank you.
I hate Dave Ramsey, dude.
Oh.
Can't stand Dave Ramsey.
Were we in the finance class together our senior year? I couldn't remember if you were in there with Mr.
We
Stroh.
were, and I was like, "This is the
Yes.
dumbest shit ever."
Oh, I
I love
loved
you,
it.
Mr.
With
Stroh, but
with
I
the
don't.
scissors.
You don't even start with me. One thing I did learn from Dave Ramsey is I still don't have a credit card.
You don't have a credit card?
I'm almost 24 years old and I have no credit card. I've never
Uh,
had one.
yeah. I mean I have one, but I don't like I pay it like I just get on the app right away and just pay it off.
Right.
At least until last week, I got a text saying that like, did you give money to this GoFundMe? I was like, no, canceled. So you got to be careful with them. But
For sure, man, for sure.
all right, what is so say you're in the gym. What is the ultimate sin one can commit while working out? Just like you're watching someone, you're just like,
Ooh,
really? We're gonna do that now?
the ultimate sin. I mean, there's a couple of big ones I can think of, but probably the one that annoys me the most is when people don't put their weights away and they'll put them in the right
Mm,
spot.
mm. What about when they don't wipe it down?
That I mean, don't wipe it down, especially for COVID. That's a big one. Like
Mm,
I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it's just so like angering because it's like the weights are on the fucking bench. You can literally pick them up, and it takes
literally.
2 steps to put them back on the rack. Like it's just like
Mm.
you lazy bastard. It's like just put this stuff away. It's just the thing that annoys me the most, but that's just me.
No, that's a fair one. I agree with that. All right, okay, let's step outside of the gym. For some reason, I was like, we're down the path of annoying things. What would you consider to be annoying habit that others can have outside of the gym?
Annoying habit that others have. Are we talking like things they say, or is it like anything in general?
Honestly, pick and choose what you want, man.
I would say probably one of the most annoying things is whenever people say I can do it myself or I can do it on my own when they've been struggling or they need help with something.
Mm,
Like the whole
gotcha,
idea of I'm a man, I can do it on my own, or when women say as I'm independent, I can do it on my own. It goes
gotcha.
both ways. You need help, ask for it.
Gotcha. Refusing help when they need it. Usually people say like chewing with your mouth open, but you know what? I'll take that too. That's
I'm
actually a
going
pretty good
deep,
one.
bro. Like I'm diving. I'm going straight for the throat on
Gotcha.
these.
Oh, well, All right. So, back to this kind of stuff. So, okay, who is a famous bodybuilder that you think you could beat in an arm wrestling match?
I mean, if we're gonna be honest, like absolutely none. I can't beat anybody in an arm wrestling match. But if I could
Mm,
arm wrestle someone, I would want to arm wrestle Jake Cutler because the guy is just like massive, and I would just like to see my tiny hand compared to like his bear paw, like
there
crushing.
you go.
So
Big hands.
I would lose, like no doubt. It would be over in seconds, like
Nice.
milliseconds,
Sometimes getting your butt whooped by the best, you can learn more from that than beating on the weak people, right?
for sure, man.
All right. What would you say, what would be a job that you think you might be terrible at?
Well, there are a lot of jobs I know I am terrible at, so we're gonna go off.
Oh,
We're gonna go off of ones that let's see. What's something that I would be really bad at? Surgeon is one of them. Let
surgeon.
let me like try to like surgery on someone is
Ugh.
definitely no no. What else would I be bad at? I wouldn't be a good car mechanic. If you had me to change your, well, I wouldn't say I can change tires and do oil and things like that. But if you want me to
Mm.
fix your car, like you're gonna flip over on the highway or something, so you don't
Oh
want me doing
shoot.
that.
Need to
Yeah.
replace my timing belt.
Yeah, that's not happening. Oh,
Uh-oh.
sorry.
Uh-oh.
Phone's going off at the
Is
wrong
that
one.
there you go. Is that someone calling you up to fix their car?
Yeah. Hopefully not. If they are, that's probably like them calling me. They have a funeral to go to now.
Oh gosh, I mean honestly these days. All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't
So,
be a mechanic. That'd be a
so
no-no.
all right. So, do you think daylight savings time should that be a thing?
Erase it. It's
Get
so
rid of it?
stupid. So
I
stupid.
I
I get why they do it, but it's still fucking stupid.
I agree. It is kind of stupid. I think do other countries even do it? I don't even know.
I don't know if other countries do it. I know Arizona, if I remember right, I know they don't have it, daylight savings time. The only state
Arizona.
that just fucking Arizona.
Of all the were they yeah, whatever.
All I know is they don't do daylight savings time or the fall back, whatever it is. It's stupid.
Yeah, fall back and then spring ahead.
Yeah,
Uh,
I always mix them up too, so it doesn't even do anything. Like it's just stupid.
I agree. You know, COVID, they actually shut everything down the week, like the Sunday we sprung ahead last year, that week
Hmm.
coming from it was when they shut everything down. So
I didn't know that.
it's
That's a
all
good
daylight,
memory.
yeah, daylight savings time. Yep. I mean, I just
I,
remember because after that weekend, I picked my brother up from the airport because he went to
hmm.
Vegas. Oh, he got it.
Oh
He
no
went to
shit.
Vegas right before everything shut down. It's like you couldn't have planned that any better.
He's lucky too, because they were locking shit down shortly after that. Like you couldn't leave.
Oh yeah, no. He went with my grandpa, and I guess my grandpa was like coughing a little, like on their way. I was like, "Peppa, stop! Like
Oh, they
they're
got
gonna
lit as
they're
fuck
gonna
too, didn't
detain
they?
us."
They're gonna detain us.
Or if they did, I don't know about it. Oh man.
I
All
love
right.
it.
Do you think? Okay, did OJ do it?
I mean, he says the glove don't fit, but I mean, I still think he did.
So he should not be acquitted.
No, I think he got out on
He,
that one.
yeah, he did. He did good. All right. Last question of the warm up. What is the best compliment you've ever received? And I asked this one of everybody, so if you were a good fan, you'd know this was coming.
That's a tough one. I can go like deep. I'm gonna just go deep. I would say the best compliment I've been given is um, the fact that I have never had a legal drink and I'm sober. That's probably the biggest one.
Never had a what?
Never had a legal alcoholic drink and I'm still sober.
Oh, really? You never drank before?
No, I mean I've drank a lot, like a hell of a lot.
Oh, gotcha.
It's it's just that when people ask me a little bit about that and they hear a little bit about the story, the biggest compliment I get is they commend me on the sobriety, which is
Mm,
top
gotcha.
notch.
I know that's good. That's good. All right. Well, there you go. Well, thank you, Tim. Congratulations. You survived the warm up. Ooh, big deal. We'll
I love it.
there you go. Yep. We'll be back in a brief moment after a brief mention of our sponsor, and then we'll hear more about Tim Carr.
Richard Head here with another amazing product. With all this coronavirus that's infecting our country, we've discovered a cure, COVIDX. With our patented blend of herbs, spices, and dish detergent, it's guaranteed to cure not only coronavirus, but COVID-19 as well. Watch as COVIDX cures my own personal case of COVID-19. Cough, cough. Never felt better. But wait, there's more. Order within the next 90 minutes, and you get a free case of Covich absolutely free.
Warning, side effects may include but are not limited to vomiting, increased sickness, dying, and worst of all, everyone knowing you're an idiot for drinking toilet bowl cleaner. COVIDX is not for everyone, or really anyone when you think about it. Call your doctor if you are actually considering taking this product, and when we say doctor, we mean psychiatrist. Don't take COVIDX if you actually have coronavirus, COVID-19, or any other disease.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It's great to have you here. Great to have you here as well, Tim. I guess we'll just kind of start off this part of our conversation. We'll just kind of leave off where we kind of left off. I know we've kind of seen each other like once or twice since graduation, but why don't we just start from there? So we both graduated in 2015. I guess I'll just kind of start with an open-ended question of what's the journey been like since then? Just kind of give us a general timeline of events, and we'll just kind of wing it and break it down from there.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, wow. I mean, there's a lot
Very open. Yeah.
there's a lot that's happened
Yeah.
since graduation.
Yes.
Um, I think for starters, it was kind of like I guess start going down the road, but everyone else, I went to college, started off a year at Walsh. Um, the first semester was solid. Second semester was not too solid at all. I
Hmm.
started doing a lot of bad stuff, and I got in a lot of trouble. Hell of a
So,
lot of trouble. So
what kind of trouble?
oh,
Or
just stuff as in like drugs and partying and alcohol.
I.
I really dove deep into that and ended up like being homeless for a stretch as well for time and
Hmm.
really, really bad. So after that like
Yeah.
little dilemma there, I ended up going to rehab in July 2016, July 4th. Um, and then ended up getting out of there, cleaned up everything, cleaned up my act.
Hmm.
Went back to school. Year after that, I ended up actually working with Scott Twitty. I think you know Scott Twitty.
I know him. Yep.
Those.
It's
I
like a
actually,
electric company or something.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
I worked with him, and Josh Sample was there for
Yep.
a bit too. So I worked with all those guys for about a year, um, and then kind of just didn't really know what I wanted to do with life. Didn't really know where I wanted to go. So I was living on my own at this time as well. So things just kind of picked up, tried going back to school. And then as I started going back, you know, I just realized it isn't what I wanted to do. I didn't like the classes I was taking. I
Mm.
always thought that it was just like a waste of time. And I was always the type of
That's fair.
person, I always like question the teachers. I'm like, why is this relevant to me? What's the importance of this? And then my teachers never liked me in college either, really. I was a kiss ass to certain ones because they were hard classes. Um,
Mm. So
but
the teacher either loved you or hated you. There's no in
yeah,
between.
yeah, that's pretty much what it
I
was.
probably would have hated you, no offense.
A lot, well, a lot of like the sociology and like those type of courses
I
like
bet.
hated me because
I bet.
I wasn't afraid to ask questions. Like I was like, okay, and I like hand up, like this is like
Yeah.
really dumb to me. Can you explain this more? Because it just makes no logical sense. Like I mean, there's just things like that where it'll come up, and I was teachers didn't like that. Like they didn't like it when you
Yeah.
question them. So I would
Yeah.
question them.
Saying that their course material is dumb is not a great start, but I see your point.
That's kind of like what
Yeah.
it was. I mean,
Yeah.
and to an extent. But
Yeah.
after that, I kind of realized I wanted to get into fitness because I've always
Yep.
actually really, really enjoyed fitness. I never took it super seriously, but I ended up really kind of just telling myself, like, look, this is what you love to do. Just dive into it.
Hmm.
Um, again, really crazy shit happened. I ended up getting into a car accident with one of my friends, and it
Hmm.
wasn't my car. So it was really cool as I ended up
And you were
getting it.
driving?
No, I wasn't driving. No, no,
Okay.
no. So I was clean at this time. So this is when
Mm.
I was like 20. I was like,
Okay.
yeah, I think I was 20.
How
Got into
nice
a,
was the car?
oh, it was a like 1998 Santa Fe. So it wasn't anything like super
Oh,
nice.
okay. Yeah.
But we got into a car accident. And I think I got like 3,500 for the insurance claim, which is it's a hell of a good paycheck, right? So I quit my job so I could just study full time for my personal training certifications and go to school.
Hmm.
Ended up getting the certification, ended up like looking for a job and went like 6 months without a job, living off of that insurance claim and starting, you know, paying the money out of my own pocket
Hmm.
and just in complete refusal to do anything else but to get a job as a personal trainer and use that
Hmm.
certification. So I ended up getting a job, worked at this gym, trained, ended up getting a management position, running the gym about the last, 6 months to a year before COVID happened.
Hmm.
Started doing this basically. COVID was like the end of like, okay, I mean, gym shut down. I didn't have a job. So it's like, it's time to go all in and do the online training. And ever since then, I've owned my own business. We've had clients as of like August last year. We start getting people in the program. So it's just been fun. It's been a
Hmm.
ride. I mean, there's a lot of shit I tried. I have over 4 years of schooling and no college degree to show for it. No
Yeah. What?
associate's degree either.
Yeah. What did you specifically like study, if you will? Like, if you would have had that fancy piece of paper or whatever, what would be on it?
All right, so put your seatbelt on for this one.
All right.
So first of all, I started doing business management, which was the first year at Walsh. The shit was
That's what
terrible.
I studied.
I
So please,
hated it, dude.
that's
I came
fine.
I came in drunk to so many business classes and so messed up, dude. I can't even remember my second semester of business
Uh,
classes.
Fair enough. It's not for
I
everybody.
can't even remember, dude. I literally blacked out business classes.
Oh, that's
Like
hilarious.
incoherent. It
They
was
say if
just
you want to go
terrible.
to college without going to college, study business. Apparently, whatever.
You can, because you know what the funny thing is too is I still passed. I don't remember like
Oh,
half of my classes second semester. I had a couple of D's on there, some C's.
oh, that's what
Um,
you call passing. Okay. I mean, you're
well,
not wrong,
I mean, like I'm like I don't remember shit. Like I guess there are projects.
obviously.
The projects were terrible. I got like 60%.
Oh
So
God, what was an example of a product you tried to sell?
one of the it was projects. One of the projects I think we did was it was like something about Walmart and like how you have to like get an idea of what Walmart does as a business. And
Oh, boo, Walmart,
it's like
boo.
it's like one of those like I forget what it's. I can't think of the right term, but business morals or something like that. I can't even remember any terms.
Morals? Okay, so it's like an ethics class or
Yeah, that's what it
something.
was. Business ethics.
Oh,
Totally
great.
tanked it, dude. Totally
Oh
tanked it.
man,
Like,
I
I mean, I
remember
turned in my
ethics.
project. It was terrible. Like, my professor was like, "Did you even like do any research?" I was like, "Yeah, I did so much. I tried so hard." When in
Yeah,
all reality, I was down on like shots of vodka and moonshine trying to type
the
this shit
prof
up.
is like, "Yeah, I'm sure you tried." Jeez Louise, what is this? Well,
So
Walmart sucks, so you
it
can
was
mess that up.
terrible. Oh, it was terrible. I mean, like, yeah, it was just bad. But
All right. Well then, anyway, you said you tried something else.
oh, dude, yeah. So that was just the first year.
Oh
All
God. All right.
right.
What's year two?
I took a year off of school, and then I went back and did law enforcement for a semester.
Oh, okay. This was
Okay.
at Walsh My Balls, right?
This is actually why I went back to Stark State. So I went back to
Stark
Stark State
State.
for law enforcement.
I
Yes.
love.
So I did that. I hated that. Like, this is stupid. This sucks. I don't want to be a cop because someone's going to shoot me because I have a smart mouth.
Yeah,
So I
you
don't want to
probably.
do this.
You'd probably be, yeah, the cop that either gets shot or like some police cam. It'd be like on the news, like a-hole cop and all this. Yeah, no, you, you don't
So
want that.
right, I'm like, this is not for me. I'm like, as much as I sound like I don't like people, but I really do like people. But I'm like, cop, not for me. I mean, just the way I am is I'm a really, I would guess, shit talker. You can say is a good
It's a
good word to
different
say.
way of knowing people. Like you said, you worked in gym management, so I'm sure the
Yeah.
way you interacted with people as a manager was different than as just like
Oh, for
an
sure.
employee. So same with the cop. Like, yeah, it's just a I've never done it. I don't want to do it. You know, other
Right.
people who are better at it, they can have it.
Yeah, so I mean, I did that, and like the scary part was they're showing you videos and shit of like cops that like would get shot and like literally killed on the job in one of my police courses. So we really got in depth in that because the Las Vegas shooter
Yep, yep.
happened during when I was in, that semester for college. So
That
that was
makes
like a
sense.
topic for like 2 weeks.
Yep.
We like really dove deep into like morals and stuff about that. I'm like, fuck, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
This is it's crazy. Like this isn't for me.
Pull some guy over for a traffic ticket and he pulls out an AR with a bump stock. You're like,
Pretty
whoops.
much.
Oh,
Literally, we watched a video like that, and it was
yeah.
like scary as I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, I'm
Yeah, you
out.
never
Bye.
know.
So after that, the next semester, we went and did. I wanted to try basically do something with nutrition and chemistry stuff. So then the next semester was basically like along the lines of chemistry and using like, um, what was the name of the course? I can't remember the name of it.
Probably.
Dietetics, right? A dietetics
Oh,
thing.
it's just insane. Okay, go on.
So that was the next semester. So this is year two. Year three, I was like, okay, let's go and try something else because I don't like this either. So then I did pre med. All right, so I did a whole
Mm,
year pre med, and then the following year I did another year pre med. I'm like, this is just stupid as well. So I went and I did shadowing for physical therapy because I thought I wanted to do physical therapy. And then it was like 3.5 semesters, 4 semesters. I have enough credit hours to show for a bachelor's degree and like no associate's degree or nothing at all because I
yeah,
changed my major like every semester. I changed my major.
yeah. No, and I mean, especially people at our age, it's like, oh, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? I don't even know what I want to do today, let alone,
Right. It's to me like this might go off trail, but I just think I gotta say it. It's the most
please.
bullshit thing to tell a 18-year-old to go to college and figure their fucking life out when they don't even know how to drive a stick shift on their car, like we were talking about, right? Like figure your life out and do X, Y, and Z when
It's a
their
lot.
own parents don't even understand what they want to do with their lives.
Yeah. Well, that's just a different generation. Like I think if I was born 20, 30 years ago, I don't think I'd have gone to college. I mean, I will say for me personally, like I picked my major, never changed it once, all that. Like I was pretty set, like, okay, if I'm gonna
Hmm.
spend out the rear end on this, I'm gonna get a return on my investment. So, but
Right. Do
still,
what you
like
love.
yeah, it's a big, big commitment. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
but even after like college, like where I'm at, like there's still moments where I'm like, am I sure I like doing this? Would I want to go do something else? Like it's
Right.
just, I don't know. You're still 23, right?
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
24 here next month, so I'm young as
nice.
fuck, dude. We're both young as fuck.
Yeah.
Like we're really
Yeah,
young.
we are.
So
That's the beauty of youth. We're nothing, we're still potential. So once we hit our 30s, right? That's whenever we lose it, right?
I wouldn't say that.
I don't
I like to
know.
take the frame of mind as, I think that people really use age as a deterrent to really demean themselves, like in a way
Sure.
to where, and not an excuse, but they just let the number get to their head.
Oh, definitely. Well, you're
I
either too young and inexperienced to do it, or you're either too old and out of touch with reality to do it. So
right,
might as well just go do it, right?
right. There's no winning.
Nope.
I
Uh,
love it.
yep. So yeah, then after that, I think because I sometimes I'll send people surveys before the interview, just get a feel on where things are. And
Hmm.
under success, I want to say, because I like to ask, like, what is something you consider as a success in your life?
Hmm.
Yeah, dropping out of school. So
No, that's where we
seems
left
like
off.
I
Oh
was
yeah, I
like,
dropped out of
screw it.
school too.
Good, yeah, sure, why not?
Yes, I call that one of my biggest success. Actually, like ended up perfect because that's like right where I left off. Because
Yep,
yeah, I mean that's I dropped into school because I'm like, you know what, this isn't what I want to do. So
yep.
what I did is actually, um, I ended up dropping out of one of my physics lab classes because it was just so stupid to me. I'm
Hmm.
like, this is stupid. I don't want to take it. It's a waste of time. And during this time, this was December of last year. I
Sure.
invested in a mentor, like a business coach, to help me get started and get an idea of what I wanted to do with the fitness thing because I knew I wanted to do online coaching, right?
Hmm.
I knew it was going to be the thing. I knew that things are going online. People are trying to, really get on social media. It's very prevalent. So I hired a mentor to help me with that. And over the course of 7 months, I ended up losing over 10K. I spent
Hmm.
over $10,000 on this particular mentor. Um,
And
it was
was it?
yeah, I didn't get like any clients. Like it was terrible. I mean, it was a waste of money on my part because the return I got client wise and income wise was terrible. But the value I got from learning and experience is through the roof, better than anything I ever learned in
Yeah,
college.
I was just about to ask, like, did you at least learn something? But
Oh, dude, I
just said it
learned.
right there, so
Yeah, I mean, I learned a hell of a lot, and that's why I call college a success because college is just like the best way I can explain it for someone who is interested in something like I do. And I don't say this to put myself on a pedestal, right? I just talk about what I do because I like it.
sure.
But someone who is interested in owning their own business and doing something along those lines, from what I've learned, is you can read the rules to the business as much as you want, but until you start playing the game, you're never gonna learn,
You're
right?
not
Like,
wrong there.
I mean, until you actually get in and start playing, right, you won't learn. You can watch as long as you want. You can supervise and observe for as long as you want. But until you dive into it, you're never going to get the results.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I will say, like, I do think there's certain principles that you can learn that can help,
Oh, for
but
sure.
also, like, yeah, no, you're right. Like, I was actually talking to, at my work, there's a manager who's replacing me because I am moving departments here.
Hmm.
And I was just telling her, like, honestly, like, we could talk leadership philosophy all day long, but at the end of the day, all that matters is that they recognize you as their leader. So, like, you can have
Oh
this
yeah.
philosophy, that philosophy, but it's like, as long as it works, like,
Hmm.
that's the biggest thing. Same with business. Like, yeah, we can read all these textbooks and all these classes, but I mean, at the end of the day, all that matters is, well, people buy your crap. Like,
Right. I mean, yeah, that's basically what it comes down to. I mean, and again, I just want to get it across because I never say anything about like what I do as a way to demean anyone else because I mean, it's just something that I just express as what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
Right? Like I'm never gonna shit on the person that wanted to go to school and wanted to get a degree to, be a lawyer or to be a
Hmm.
nurse, right? As long as they're doing what
100%.
they're happy, I'm happy.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's about happiness and fulfillment
Oh,
for
yeah.
me.
No, there's definitely people that I, talk to
Mhm,
occasionally. I'm just like, yeah, like I mean, school was it was good for me. Like I
mhm.
used what I got, but I will say like if I was where I am right now and I still had a bunch of loans to pay off and didn't have a job from it, I'd be like, well, what was the point of that, you know? Like,
Right,
and I
right.
mean, while I was at school, like I found certain mentor figures and things like that, but also that's because while I was at school, like I went above and beyond to make sure I established those. So it's like it's all of what you make of it. Like if you just go into school and think that piece of paper is going to be everything, then it's like, well,
Yeah,
no wonder you got nothing out of it. So it's all of what you make of it, right?
for sure. It's always about the intention.
100%. So I guess I want to back up a little bit because I don't want to I don't want to go straight into the business yet because there's some things I have
For
here for
sure.
that. But yeah, no, I kind of curious. So I seemed like you had talked about this in a few of your posts, so I assume you're comfortable talking about this. But a few of your posts you kind of mentioned like ODing, drug addictions, all of that. So let's get to the juicy gossip,
Uh,
right? So,
let's do it. I'm down for
some people watching this are probably thinking, so when are they going to talk about the drugs, right?
it.
So, but yeah, how would you say kind of some of that, like how did you find yourself going down that path, if you will? How has it shaped you to where you are today? I don't know, just kind of that, like how did you get there, specifically in those moments, and then I'll ask follow-up questions as we go.
For sure, dude. I love it. Like the juicy details are the best part. That's what people love.
Hey,
So
no, it's too much reading. I'm sorry. You make those long posts. I'm like, oh, it's so much reading. It's like,
I know,
oh,
dude. It is a lot. It is a
so
lot.
I'd rather just
Um,
hear it. So let's go.
yeah. So I mean, like it all started ever since I was younger. And whenever you talk to someone who has an addiction of some sort or some sort of
Hmm.
thing like that, they're gonna say the same thing. They feel out of place when they're growing up and as a kid. I think everyone does to an extent.
Yep.
Just the way that I always coped with it when I was growing up was different, right?
Hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say I was a perfect saint as a child because I wasn't. I mean, I was the type of person where, if I was to get medicine, like I would drink like 4 cups of NyQuil because it made me like loopy and shit, and I liked it.
There you go.
Like that was me. Also like dabbling in, there is some like painkillers and shit they had in the cabinet. I'm like, ooh, that's good, right? Grab a couple of those, whatever. When I was growing up, it was kind of like for fun type shit.
Uh-huh.
Not a lot of people knew that when I was in school. Not a lot of people knew that.
I didn't know
Um,
that till right now, so we're
it picked
learning
up.
things.
It got a hell of a lot worse in high school though, and
Hmm.
going into college. That was probably
Okay.
the worst.
Hmm.
I was a dick in high school. I was a dick.
We
Like
always got
I was an
along, so
asshole. Yeah, I mean, like
I
I look back at it, I was a dick.
I'll have to take your word for it. You said it, not me, but I just I mean, I admit, like we talked a few times, but I don't remember a whole lot. Like I hope that doesn't sound bad, but I just don't
No.
think we interacted a whole lot.
Well, I mean,
So
that's part of it right there too, because I was that way with everyone. Like
yeah,
literally, I was always like on the DL, like don't talk too much about what's going on with your life. Don't say too much. Don't
fair
express
enough.
this. Don't say what's going on at home. Don't
Yeah,
explain, certain situations. So I kept everything to myself.
yeah,
Only one person pretty much knew that was my girlfriend at the time, Allison. She was the
yep.
only one that knew like
I do
anything,
remember that. Yep,
right? Like anything. So I just always had that frame of mind is, you don't know me, I don't know you. Let's keep it that way because you can't hurt me, right?
fair
So,
enough.
and then that's just how I was. I would like, with the intention of trying to get what I want from people, and I try to persuade them even in high school. That's just how I was. I was a dick.
Hmm.
Um, Looking for approval, satisfaction, trying to be like other people and trying to fit in, right? I think everyone does that to an extent, but
Sure.
it just really weighed on me. So as that continued and stuff, bad breakup, I was just a dick, and then it got out how awful I was and stuff. So
Hmm.
literally, not very many people wanted to hang out and talk to me or do anything, which I totally get. I mean, I was a dick. Like, I was a fucking dick to my
You're saying
girlfriend.
I'm not
I
saying
can't I can't
anything. You're
express it enough. Like, I mean, I
yeah,
was just terrible, dude. Like, I had no emotional awareness, didn't care about what anyone wanted but myself.
yeah.
I started drinking so much in college. I took a lot of drugs. I got, when I was working, actually when I was working at McDonald's, it got really bad because the people I was friends with, I could get all kinds of prescriptions from the one whose name is Steven, from his mom. She actually was disabled from like her neck down, all kinds of painkillers and just all kinds of shit. So we
What a
would go,
dude.
right.
So
So
did she get at least some of this, or did she just like, eh?
oh, they would sell it because they wanted the money, right? She's like, oh,
I,
she
yeah.
goes, I can't even feel shit half the time anyway. So they would sell me like their Xanax bars and their fucking Valium, and I would get like Percocets and Vicodin from them, and
Hmm,
I would like buy my weed from them and everything like that, and
gotcha.
I would like steal some rails of coke and shit here and there from them. So
What a dude.
it
Steven,
was so bad. Yeah, Steven was the MVP. So
can you drop his number in the chat so that the
no, no,
listeners can...
no, never. His number's
I'm,
long
I'm
gone.
just kidding.
I mean, he was terrible. Him and his
Yeah,
buddy Derek were just all dude. They're
yeah.
terrible.
No, it's all
Um,
good.
but
Anyway, go on.
yeah, it was that just kind of like escalated. I'm like, oh, these people are cool. I'm going through a rough time. They're giving me shit. So at this time, I ended up getting into fights with the parents, and no one wanted to be around me. I was
Yeah,
again a dick to
yeah,
absolutely everyone.
yeah.
Um, Scotty let me stay with him when I had no place to go and it was cold. He would like let me sleep at his place.
What a
And
dude.
yeah, he's he was awesome. And then Riley Gankowski, he would help me out too and let me stay at his place a lot as well.
Mhm,
Um, but things just got continued to get worse and worse and worse. And I think the scariest part is I realized like when I was going to school, because I was going to school the whole time too, and I was like missing classes and shit and trying to go to school.
mhm,
And there's literally a 6 month period where there's so many like times I can't remember, like blackouts and things. I can't put pieces together. Like the one time, this might be kind of funny. I was sitting there at Steven's place. And I was like, smoking a blunt and shit and whatever, and
mhm,
super, super high. Okay. And
mhm.
I thought it was a Monday. It was Monday. So, no, Monday. It was Wednesday, and I thought it was Monday. That's what it
Is
was. Sorry.
even
All right.
better. We're off to a good start. All
So
right.
it was Wednesday, all right, and it was Wednesday and shit, and then we're just like messing around, having a good time. We're like playing Call of Duty and just chilling, getting baked, and fucking
Mhm,
eating Percocet and Xanax, and I
mhm,
ended up blacking out because I had a hell of a lot of Xanax, right?
mhm.
And then when I came to, I woke up on his bed and he was playing Call of Duty. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, dude, I gotta get a class. I'm like, there's a fucking test today for one of my business courses. I'm not gonna make it. I'm gonna fucking fail the course, everything.
And then you passed it with a D, right?
No, even funnier, he's like, dude, it's Saturday. It's the weekend. Like there he's like
Oof.
he's like, we've been chilling here, just
I
fucking
love it.
playing Call of Duty. We ordered some pizza and we just been chilling here. It's Saturday, bro. He goes, calm the fuck down. I'm like, dude, I
Nice.
swear to God, it's Wednesday. He goes, no, you've been here
Nah,
with
bro.
me, like gone. He goes, you have been staring at walls and shit. He goes, dude, you're gone. He goes, it's Saturday. So I lost like 3 days of time and just complete blackout. Like no clue what happened. I can't remember.
Mhm.
Right. So things like that happen. I ended up waking up in places where I never even knew how I got there. I ended up waking up, at fucking random houses and at random parking lots. I'm like, what the how did I get here? Right?
What's the
It's
weirdest one?
probably the weirdest one for me was when I woke up. I don't even remember where it was in Akron, but I woke up and there was like three dudes passed out on the floor. And there was this one girl sitting in this recliner, just like fucking gone, like whiskey bottle in her lap. Like she fucking had a cigarette that was still lit, just like sitting here in her hand. So I had to like
Mm,
grab and put it out when she got gonna catch the fucking house on fire.
yeah.
And I didn't know where the hell I was. I couldn't find my keys. So I was like looking through this whole house,
Nice.
trying not to wake anyone up. And then thankfully I drove there. I have no idea how I got there. No clue. Right. I almost got fired from work because I was supposed to be at McDonald's, like grilling fucking sausages and shit and doing hash browns, hash browns on the grill
Mhm,
or whatever. So I had no clue, right? No clue.
mhm.
So I'm like, just found my keys, got my car, got my phone. And I'm like, where am I at? Type of my address, and I just went to work and didn't get fired, which is a good thing. They never fire at McDonald's.
There you,
But
yeah.
that's probably the scariest one, is because I'm like, this is a random house. I don't know any of these people. This girl is about to light the house on fire with her lit cigarette she didn't put out. Irresponsible fuck. So
Mm,
then there's me, waking
yeah.
up in the house, but
Less responsible.
less responsible. So I mean that like that it's scary when you have those types of things happen because it's like, where am I? Like you don't know what you
Mm,
did. There's no recollection of time,
mhm,
and that was probably the scariest one.
mm,
It's just stupid shit like that just piled up and piled up, and I really glorify it a lot, kind of like joke around about it. But I will say, on the surface level, it was really kind of a sad time for me because I
mm.
use a lot of that stuff for how I felt to like hide and cope with what was going on.
Sure.
So I mean, everyone talks about you hear me joke around with it with you right now and stuff, but
Mm,
in all reality, I mean, very very painful things and stuff, and it's just I look back at it and I realize, what I was doing and why I was doing because I wanted to escape. I mean, if we're gonna
mhm.
get deep and dark, I was like taking enough shit where I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna take all this, and if I don't wake up, I'm totally cool with
Might as well. Well, I mean, sometimes if you don't laugh about it, you'll cry.
it.
So,
Right. So I mean, it just things continue to escalate. I ended up going to rehab. Um,
what was the point you decided?
I didn't really decide. I was kind of forced at this time. I was a landscaper. My uncle was nice enough to give me a job, and
Oh, he said do it or get fired.
not really that. I mean, yes and no.
Hmm.
But he was in a very similar path as well. So he's like, I know like what happens with this. He goes, so you need to like go and fix yourself up. So that happened. Then my mom ended up, really trying to push me and um, stuff like that. So I ended up basically making the decision like, okay, I mean, I guess I kind of got to go. I'm back into a corner. I'm not going to have a job. Um, Mom is really begging me to go, and I've already basically burnt the bridge with Scotty and Riley because they're like done letting me stay at their place because they're tired of watching
Yep,
me like nod out, on the kitchen table,
that's fair. Yeah.
all like wasted and gone. So they're like,
Mm,
okay, we're done with this shit. So I was like, all right,
gotcha.
time to go to Rock Creek, Ohio. And
There you go.
30 days and inpatient.
Gotcha. So what was like the process of that? Were they just like, oh, because I know like having a different environment can go a long way.
Mhm.
So would they like, I don't know, do certain exercises or certain like, I don't know,
Yeah.
like how what was the experience like?
So what it was is when they take you, and first of all, this place is secluded as fuck. Like there's literally nothing to do. So if you run away, like you're just like you're in like farmland and forest.
Mm,
There's literally nothing there. So I mean, you're like, well, shit, might as well stay here because I got food, running water, showers, whatnot.
mm,
So when you check in, basically, you're allowed to have visitors once a week for like an hour and a half, and you have to be like supervised and stuff. But the gist of it basically was I was in the detox unit, and everyone goes through detox unit first, just to basically
mm.
clean them up, make sure you don't die of withdrawal. So
Yep, yep. That makes
they give
sense.
you medicine to make sure you don't die. I actually just made a post about this last week. I think I was in the detox unit for 13 days, I think, which is
Hmm.
excessively long. It's
Hmm.
normally like 3 days, 4 days, right? They had me in there
Gotcha.
for 13 days because of how much like drinking and barbiturates I took.
Mm.
Like they gave me so much phenobarbital. It's like an
Hmm.
anxiety medication, like keep you chill and keep your heart rate from like bouncing out of your chest. So
Hmm.
they gave me so much of that. They had to take my blood every morning and every night for like 13 days straight. The first 3 days, 2 or 3 days, I was just stuck in bed. I did not want to get up,
Mm.
shivering, just suffering, wanting to literally die. It
Die.
was
Yeah,
terrible. So
I
that
bet.
was the first 13 days. I ended up feeling really good, actually a lot better after the first week, but they had to keep me on detox unit because the amount of, phenobarb they were giving me still.
Hmm.
But you're supposed to be, going to classes and they basically run you through therapy sessions, group counseling, walk you through, how AA works, the whole sobriety thing when you get out of it. They're going to basically bring people in to speak and walk you through the program and show you what a meeting would look like in AA. And they just did all this stuff to show you the ropes and get you ready. So when you do leave, you don't end up back in there 2 weeks later.
That's good. Okay. Yeah,
So I
no,
mean,
that's cool. Yeah, no, I mean you see things of how it goes, but it's cool that you're willing
yeah,
to talk about it, so that's
I
that's
met so
good.
many characters, dude. I met some scary ass
I
people in there.
I bet.
I'm like, I'm gonna stay
Same
away from you.
Was it like you know how they have like prison dramas and stuff where it's like, ooh, I'm not getting in the shower with that guy. Was it like
Uh,
that bad or?
Not really, no. The part that was bad that they really fucked up on there, in my opinion, is it's a joint rehab, so there's guys and girls there together, right? The rooms and floors are all separated, but
Yeah, but
as soon as you mix, like first of all, you're mixing druggies and alcoholics together, which is already a problem in the first place, right?
Mhm.
There were fights that broke out and shit. I mean, it was like a fucking prison
Were
going
you
on.
any in any of them?
No, no, dude, I was always sly as fuck, dude. Like I was like standing outside, like I was the instigator.
Oh,
I would like
you.
smooth talk my way out of shit, and just like,
Were
hey,
you the ringleader, starting fights but never being in
no,
them?
no, I was never the ringleader. I mean, I was always the youngest one there, so I'm just kind of like I was smart. I can read people fairly well, so I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this dude's a troublemaker from talking to him. This dude's like, low key, like trying to get better. I can tell. So I would like pick the ones who were serious out of the
Mhm.
crowd, like hang with them. But yeah, I mean, whenever you mix alcoholics and addicts, like who are just like freshly like somewhat clean, that's already a problem. And then you
Mm.
throw women in the mix, or men if you are a woman, right? And you mix the two
Mm.
sexes together, it's a shit show, dude. It's a
Mm.
terrible combination.
Fun, fun, fun.
You can call it that.
Yeah.
Shit, dude, it was terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
But
that's
that's basically the gist of it.
gotcha. So, I I'm gonna ask you one more question pertaining to this kind of stuff, then I'll get off the subject because I don't want to like glorify it, but I am curious.
Go
And
for
then
it, man.
after this, we'll kind of go more turning point into like Muscle Man Tim. Um, so you kind of did mention ODing twice. I'm curious, like what is the like mental process of going through that where you're like, oh, like I don't know, like do you just like, oh shit, I just overdosed, or like do you just pass out? Like what is that? I don't want to like linger too long on it, but because
Right.
I don't want to glorify it, but I am curious, and also maybe the audience is as well. Like, what is it like to physically go through this?
So it's like super scary because a lot of times what happens is um you end up getting almost like a rush, and it almost like turns into like you're passing out. At least that's how mine was.
Hmm.
I would take a lot of sleep medication. Like I really got hooked
Hmm.
on sleep meds because they really mess you up, like Ambien, Lunesta type stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I would take ridiculous amounts of that, like literally handful, hoping like this is like attempted suicide type shit.
Sure.
Um, and basically, what happens with sleep medication is if you take too much of it, it suppresses your nervous system and shuts down your nervous system.
Mm.
So, meaning you start losing the ability to breathe. You start losing the ability to move and things like that because of the part of your brain that attacks, right? So you start losing your autonomic nervous system functions. So what happened with me is I ended up basically not. I first I can remember I couldn't move my legs. I remember sitting there trying to get up. I couldn't get
Hmm.
up. Second of all, I also noticed that like I was so dizzy, like the room was spinning. It was hard to even
Mm.
keep my eyes open at that point. I remember things just like slowly getting darker and darker, and then I just remember my heart like fucking just like really
Mm.
had this weird beat to it, and it started getting really slow, right? Really slow. And then the next thing I can remember is I can remember coming to, I don't even know what time it was, um, but I can remember basically like coming to gasping for breath. Gasping for breath. Like it's scary as fuck because
Mm.
it's almost like it felt like someone was like choking me because I felt like I was like I was suffocating.
Mm.
Um, but it was scary. Like I mean, I felt really weak. I felt limp like everywhere. My heartbeat felt all fucked up and everything. It was just a really scary experience.
Mm.
Like it's like this everything was so surreal and odd, and it almost felt like you can almost feel yourself like slipping away.
Mm.
It's really really scary.
So when they say go towards the light, would you say that was a fair
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean,
representation?
the best way is I can say it. I can just remember like this like thought of like just being like dark in my head, like, and then almost you just kind of feel like yourself like kind of like slipping out. It's just so hard to explain and so
Yeah.
weird, but it's definitely not fun. and you start thinking, okay, this is how I'm gonna fucking die. Like
Yeah.
I'm going to die right here. Whatever. Like I accept it.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like got those thoughts of like, oh, like I just want this to like fucking kill me, and then it's like the second it's
Yeah.
going to, you're like, oh God, no, 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 you know?
In
Like,
a joking manner, yes. It's
yeah,
like fuck. It's like I didn't take enough. I say, well,
yeah,
there's always tonight.
yeah. Then the second you get your way, it's like, oh no.
It's
Uh,
just, it's very hard to explain, but it
yeah.
is. I can. It's the closest thing to an out of body experience I've probably ever had. Not
Mm.
in a good way.
Existential crisis, just in a
Yeah.
external way too.
It sounds like hippie as shit too, like when I'm talking
Yeah.
about. But I mean, it's just
It's it's,
it.
it's real.
It's
Yeah.
scary. Like,
Yeah.
in all honesty, I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. And as much as I joke around about it, again, I just can't stress like get help.
Yeah.
Like get help. I really think that people need to go and get help when they have this stuff happen. So
Yeah. Well, in humans, we are, I think we're naturally like designed to interact with other people. I mean,
for sure.
if you want to start throwing that Bible stuff in there, Genesis, like Adam and Eve, like Adam felt off even though there was no sin, but it was because he was alone. He didn't have anyone there. So,
Right.
even like it's not a sin to feel alone whenever you need someone there. So,
Right.
just kind of our natural tendency. So, but yeah, anyway, speaking of helping the self, so I guess kind of a turning point. What would you say would be like the big turning point to kind of, I guess, where you are right now, kind of, because right now you're obviously not into that stuff. Right now you're more into getting fit, uh, all that, which is very awesome. So, like, what would you say
Yeah.
was that main like turning point?
Um, I mean, it's. I guess it's kind of hard to pick a specific one. I
Hmm.
guess I kind of came to the realization like when I was in rehab and hearing about how old people were and shit and having these problems. I'm like, that's not really the life I want to live, you know.
Yep.
And I actually, believe it or not, I had a lot of positive reinforcement in
Hmm.
Glen Bay and rehab when I was there for those 30 days. Like a
Hmm.
lot of people telling me like, you need to get clean and sober. Like I heard some horror stories. Right?
Hmm.
I mean, people spending 4 or 5 years in prison, losing, fucking losing basically their entire youth, um, in and out of rehab. Like I hear people like, this is my 11th time in rehab. I'm 27 years old. People went through divorces and
Hmm.
broken families. It's just,
Hmm.
they're like, you just need to do your best and never come back here again. So I would say the turning point is hearing all those horror stories. I'm like, okay, I gotta do something for myself.
Gotcha. All right, awesome. What would you say? I was going through some things. I believe you might have it tattooed somewhere on yourself. What does the statement "life goes on" mean to you?
Ah, that's a good one.
Because I
Life
feel
goes
like
on.
somewhere on there, right? Here, here,
Yeah, it's covered up, but it's
here.
on the inside of my arm. Yeah, life goes on.
Yeah.
So that one was a good one because um, I have like an EKG, like to kind of like get started with the L.
Yep.
And the reason why I have life goes on is because if you think of an EKG, you think of your heartbeat, and this kind of ties into the whole overdose thing as well.
Hmm.
Um, is if you think of EKG, it goes up and down, right? Like you watch the thing on the monitor, it goes up and down. And as long as you're alive, you have a heartbeat,
Yep.
right? And no matter what happens, your heart's beating, you're going to have your ups and your downs in life. But no matter what
Oh,
happens, life goes on, right?
okay.
So plus life goes on is one of the things that our little group says in our sobriety group. I heard that saying when I first got clean and sober, life goes on. So I'm like, hey, you know what? I went to a tattoo artist. I'm like, I got this thing, life goes on. And he's like, oh, what if we put an EKG on there and it stands for like this? I'm like, dude, that's killer. So like the tattoo artist like helped me think this one out. So I'm like,
Mm.
perfect, put it on there. So
That's awesome. I didn't know it was that deep. I
yeah,
ta For me, like I don't have any tattoos, but I also don't have anything that I would have of that much value. Like if I'm gonna
right,
ink myself up, I'm gonna like have a pretty good reason for it. But that like,
right.
all right, look at this.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite one.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. So if it wasn't for fitness, what do you think you would have gone into something else? I don't know. Sometimes I like to think like, well, if it wasn't this, what would I be doing? So,
It would still be something along the lines of me trying to work for myself.
uh-huh.
Um, I really kind of have a knack for like sales and stuff. I guess I like to talk, as you can tell.
You
I,
said
I'm
it, not
I'm
me.
I'm open. Like I share a lot of shit. It doesn't really bother me to share
Mhm,
things. I'm honest, and I like to be transparent. So I would like to do sales. I feel like that would be the thing that I do next. Like if something ever happens to this business, like let's say what I'm doing now could shut down, like fucking, Zuckerberg can screw Facebook up and shut it down right now, right? And Instagram goes along with it then. So if that were to happen, my business is going to be in some trouble because I use social media.
mhm,
I have enough confidence in things in myself to, go and get into sales. That would be something I can do there, but that's
mhm.
probably the route I would go.
Gotcha. If you were gonna sell something, what would it be?
And that's a good question there. Um, I really would be okay selling anything I believe in. I don't like selling something that I feel is like bullshit. Like for example, if I was going to sell a fucking weight loss product, right? Like a
Mhm.
pill, I wouldn't do it because I know it's bullshit.
That's fair.
If I'm passionate about it and I can understand it, like let's see, if I do sales along the lines of a product to like car salesman, wouldn't do it. Don't like car salesman. Um, what's a good one I can do? Sales and selling a service, right? Like let's say real estate. I
Yeah,
wouldn't.
real
It's
estate.
just so throwing something out there that would be fun for me.
Mhm.
It's just a fun idea.
Gotcha. All right, so now here's my next one. So I'm sure you've heard this classic one. Sell me this pen. I'm sure you've heard that cliche one
Sell me
before.
this pen.
Sell me this pen.
Like right now.
Yeah, go for it. What else we gonna talk about?
So if I were to sell a pen, I mean, I would ask you, first of all, are what is it that you're looking for, like in a pen? Like, what is
Oh,
it? Why
wow.
do you need one?
I like it how you start with a question, so that's good. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a pen that I kind of want some kind of like spunky ink with it, like something that's like cool, like purple with sparkles.
Okay, purple
Do
with
you do you
sparkles. Okay.
have something like that?
Well, my next question would be, why do you need the purple with sparkles? Is there something that you want to make elegant and extravagant for someone, or are you just
Sure.
looking to?
Well, I'm just starting in the office, and I feel like I don't know, like sometimes when I use the fun colored pens, like, because work more in like the fashion business, so there's a lot of females there, and I figured to give it kind of like a little bit of a pizzazz when I sign my name on forms.
Okay, good. So, what do you do for work?
Oh, well, I am, God, you're making this harder on me. But yeah, no, I do like it how you ask questions, so that's,
So, and that's
yeah,
actually a
you
good one,
ask.
'cause when it comes to the sales.
I was
Like,
just winging that. I was gonna be like, I'm like a manager or something like that, or I don't know. I was like, I don't feel like doing this anymore.
I'll
But
role play with you the entire
yeah, no.
podcast, bro.
But no, that's good. Usually, a lot of that was one because I remember applying for a sales job once, and that's one of the reasons I didn't get it because I didn't ask enough questions. So,
Hmm.
no, that's what you're supposed to do because usually they'll be like, well, this pen here is like the most best pen in the world, when in reality it kind of comes back to your question where you're like, I
Right.
wouldn't sell some I think is bullshit. Like, yeah, like if you don't even believe in the product or if the person doesn't even want what you're selling, like what's the point? Like, go find someone else. I remember there's like a little red book of sales I think I have somewhere in my room. I remember reading it
Hmm.
was like people like to buy things, they don't like to be sold things or
For
something along
sure.
those lines. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right, I'll give you that. I was hoping you'd start being like, well, look at this pen. I'd be like, oh, really? Now you're a
Uh,
salesman, are you? So that was good.
no, man, that's
So,
not me. You gotta
uh,
ask and dig, bro.
yeah, no, that's sales 101, right? Ugh, maybe another time. I didn't write out a script, so
I'll,
last time
I'll pull mine up right now for you.
oh my God. All right. Anyway, that was just a wing it question.
I like it.
So what would you be okay, because you're in the sales of selling not like bodies, but body types. What would you say is the ideal physique for a body that you might be looking for in your clientele?
Are we saying what I want or what my clients want?
Let's go with you. What would you say is your like say that all bodies were one thing. What would ideally they be?
I mean, like for me personally, like I'm not a very big guy. I'm like 5'7", so first I'm pretty short. I haven't grown at all
That
since high school. So I
that's
mean,
all
for
good.
me, I always like the look of someone who's bigger and has like some muscle. Like I'm a big fan of like bodybuilding, like watching the guys walk on stage and shit.
Gotcha.
Not like the huge guys, but the dudes in the board shorts to maybe help
Sure.
people relate. The guys that come out in like the swim trunks, right? They call them physique competitors, men's physique competitors. A
Mm,
little bit smaller frame, not as big, just because they're not like what we call a mass monster. Like if you think of some of the people you see on TV when back in the day, Ronnie Coleman, Jay Cutler, Mr. Olympia, those guys are like 300 pounds, like crazy shredded, and just look nasty almost,
gotcha.
in my opinion.
So you'd be more lean than bulk.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the men's physique guys, they still are bulky. If you're like ever next to one in person, they're still like really fucking big,
Hmm.
but they're not like disgusting,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
unnatural.
yeah. Or like there's like women, they could train however they want, but I will say for me, like when you get those girls that are like big and bulky, I'm like, ugh. Like,
Yeah, there's a
I
few
mean,
that's at the gym I train at.
I wouldn't want to piss them off,
No,
but like
I'm afraid of them.
I am too.
I should say I'm afraid of them. It's just like it's one of those things that's so unnatural and so like
Mm,
out of the ordinary. It's so I wouldn't say afraid is the wrong word. Just like in shock, I would guess, because you're not used to
yeah.
seeing that.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, hey, good for you. Go strong woman, but like, I don't know, like
I'll
I
tell you
just
what though, they're the nicest women in the whole gym.
oh really?
They're
I
so nice. So nice.
I need to get out more. I just am like, all right, you do you. But that's not even because of them.
Right.
I'm there to mind my own business and take care of my own, so,
For sure, for sure.
but fair enough. All right. So, how can you tell whenever you're working out at the end of your workout? How can you tell if it's like, all right, that was a pretty good day, or, ugh, that kind of sucked. Like how can you tell if like you felt like it was a good workout?
So usually what happens with the gym is I like to rephrase the gym as or explain it as like a game. Like let's say you played soccer before, right? Let's say you're
Yes.
you're playing soccer and you have a bad game. Like, your
Mm-hmm.
footwork isn't there, you're just not making contact with the ball, you're not kicking it, the way you normally do, right? The
Mm-hmm.
gym's the same way. Like you can go to the gym and have a good session and a bad session.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like gauge it during the workout. So like let's say I'm benching and I'm like, okay, I can't move the same way I did last workout. It's a lot less than normal. So although I might not be, let's say, have a good day at the gym weight wise, you can still have a good day by dropping the weight and really focusing on a different aspect: form,
Mm-hmm.
control, tension, tempo. So whenever I feel like I don't have a good day in the gym, I know I didn't push hard enough and I can like feel it because I can look back at my workout and say, okay, you slacked here, you slacked here, you slacked here. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't drop the weight like you should, and your form just felt like complete shit because you were going too heavy.
Hmm.
Like that's how I can look back and tell, like, okay, like if I look back at my what I recorded, I can look back and think. But normally that doesn't really happen as much as it used to for me because I'm not focused about all the weight all the time.
Hmm.
Um, but that's pretty much how I can tell if it's a good or bad workout.
How long do you normally plan before you go into a workout? I assume you don't just go in there and wing it.
Yeah, so what I do is I write training plans for myself and all my clients. So when I come up every 4 weeks, I'll look at my progress and everything for basically that last 4 weeks, and I'll see where I'm at, and then I'll basically make my next 4 weeks of training. So
Mm,
I'll have everything made up 4 weeks in advance.
gotcha. Okay. What's your favorite type of workout? Like you more like arm day, leg day? I don't know. There's different types, right?
Yeah, that one changes too. Right now, I'm a huge fan of legs. Like I love legs because I can move some decent weight, move some heavier weight with my lower body. It's just more fun and more enjoyable for me.
Mm,
So right now, I just really like legs a lot. But a month from now, I might like doing back the most, or a month later, I might like
mm,
arms. It just kind of changes.
gotcha. All right. So last like random fitnessy question. So if there was one lift or exercise they had to consider the most important of them all, obviously there's various types, there's
Hmm.
got to work different areas. But let's just play pretend. Let's say there's one that's the most important of them all. What would you say it would be?
That's a tough one.
Ooh,
You got me stumped on that one.
tripped him up.
I would say probably the one I think is the most important I see. I'm stuck between two. I'm gonna say squats. Just,
Squats.
just
What's
because
the other one?
the other one is more what we call a rehab movement called face pulls, where it works a lot of your
Mm.
shoulders.
Oh,
But
okay.
basically, it works on what we call external rotation of taking your arm and pulling it behind your body, called the
Hmm.
external rotation. And a lot of people have really slumped shoulders and rounded posture. So that's why I would say face pulls possibly. But I would say the squat just because it's a very functional movement, meaning it really kind of requires a lot of tension throughout your whole body. You're using a lot of muscles, and you're really basically using the squat as a way to improve overall mobility and strength.
Gotcha. Okay. I just thought of this one right now, so I didn't plan for this
That's a
one.
good question.
Now, oh, thank you. Now, if you're gonna have good arms, legs, or core, which one would you pick? You can only have one. I just thought of this.
You like only have one. Shit.
Yeah, I mean, not that it works that way, but let's play
So like we
pretend.
say only have one. Are we saying like one looks good, the other is like complete shit? Like doesn't look like it
Let's
belongs to my body?
let's do this. I'll take it easy. So, one, two, and three rank them. So one, like
Okay.
most important, two, then
Okay.
three.
Got you. Got you. One I would say is legs. I would say legs is the most
Legs.
important. Yeah. You got
Legs?
you
What
gotta
happened to arm day?
you gotta have good legs, dude.
Bro.
Girls like the glutes too. I tell all my guys that.
I'm single, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, I'm single too, so apparently my
Ooh.
philosophy is wrong.
Yeah, who is this guy? All right. Well,
But
ladies like the legs. Okay.
I would say legs, right? And I would say arms two, abs three. Abs are nice to have. It's not the end all be all, so that's why abs would be three.
Okay. All right. I was just curious, that's
That's a good
all.
question.
Thank you. Okay. So, food. I don't know. Might as well throw a food question there. What is a food? Because I think you like put cooking stuff on there, so why not? I'm curious. What is a food that tends to get overlooked or underestimated when it comes to a healthy lifestyle?
A food that gets overlooked and underestimated. There's so many, honestly. If I go general food group, it's carbs. Like if we're going general food group, so many people
Really?
say carbs are so bad, and the amount of people that say that stop eating bread and oatmeal and even fruit. I've had so many people say fruit's bad for you, like bananas. You shouldn't eat bananas.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's just stupid.
And what do they want? They say you should eat ice cream because it's got dairy in it?
I have people say that too. They can't eat dairy. Are you lactose intolerant? Is my question. They'll say no. I say great, eat dairy.
Hmm.
Like simple as that.
Hmm.
One food. If I had to pick one food that's underutilized, that's a good question, dude. Holy shit, that's a really
Oof.
good question. You got me stumped on
I
that one.
got two for two. You got me on the pen question, so I was like, fuck this guy. I gotta get him back.
I would say when it comes to what I hear, steak or red meat, like hamburger steak, the amount of
Hmm.
people that cut out steak and hamburger and just resort to chicken and rice is ridiculous.
Hmm.
Like if you're gonna eat, healthy or whatnot, you can still have steak and red meats like that.
Gotcha. Out of your clientele, what would you say represents a majority of their needs? Obviously, everybody's different, but from like what your clientele works for, what would you say is like the majority of the thing you try to push them towards, like weight loss, like what is the kind of general goal with what you work
Gotcha,
with?
gotcha. Yeah, so I guess my niche you can say is people who are trying to lose somewhere between 20 pounds and up. I have people who are trying to lose 80 pounds, 60 pounds, 10 pounds. Generally though, we're normally in like the 30-pound range. People are trying to lose fat generally in
Mm,
there. Got a few clients who want to, what we do is called a recomp, like lose fat, build muscle at the makes time. Kind of
okay.
a harder process, a lengthier process, but majority of them are just strictly fat loss.
Fat loss, okay.
Mhm.
Makes sense. It seems to be what a lot of people are for, you know. I mean,
We are the most
God,
obese country in the world. I mean,
yeah, we are. Are we?
just look that up. It's
I'm
either
back.
us or France
What is?
or
I'm fact
Italy, one
check.
of the two. I think it's the U.S. still.
It might be, but Nauru? What is it? Where is that?
Nauru, what is that? Like in the
I don't know.
Philippines?
That's Vietnam? No, no,
It
it's
can't
not.
be Vietnam. How is Vietnam more obese than the U.S.? That can't be
Ah,
right.
I don't know. This procon.org.
Is that Wikipedia, bro? You can't be using Wikipedia.
Oh no. Oh gosh. Yeah. Put this over the screen so the people watching this will see that I'm scrolling on over top. But yeah, no, Nauru. Cook Islands. But this is according to 2016. I don't know if I want
Okay,
how far do I want to study to go back?
that's up
Oh,
to you. This is your show, man.
I don't think I care that much. Anyway,
We're top three. I'm confident in that.
whoops.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, top
I,
three.
I feel like we are at least.
Whatever. We're fat. Fun, fun, fun. All right. Anyway, there we go. Gotta fix my screens now. Messed them all up. All right. What did I have next now that I threw myself off? But yeah, so most obese. What is yeah, so that's kind of your more general like audience that you go towards. You used to manage at a gym, right? What I kind of want to draw some comparisons like entrepreneur, employee, manager. So that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Oh, I like it.
Um, but to start off, what would be kind of your day-to-day routine, all that as a manager?
So when I managed the gym, I was crazy. I would get up at 3 a.m. in the morning,
Okay.
and I would basically do a little bit of reading, do my planning for the day. I
Okay.
would drive to the gym I managed, which wasn't too far from where I was living, which is
What was the name of the gym?
Max Fit. It was right across the street from Walsh College, so you know where that's at, in Canton, Ohio, North Canton, somewhere in there.
Yes, Canton.
No, all good, all Canton, man.
Would you consider, okay, and I don't mean to deviate, but would you consider a Canton to be a town that you fear for your life when going down in the middle of the night?
Yes, because I live there. Like I live. Okay, do you know where? Have you remember where 12th Street is? I don't know if you ever
No,
told.
not really, but I'm
So
sure
Mercy,
someone got
Mercy
killed there.
Medical Hospital.
That is much better. I know where that is, yes.
My house was the backyard of Mercy Medical Hospital.
Oh, so you got it all.
Yeah, so I mean, when you're coming down the Serpentine Hill, you know what Serpentine Hill is? That like twisty, windy road behind the hospital,
Okay, yeah.
right? So you're coming down that hill, right over the railroad tracks is where I lived.
Oh
There were
boy.
at least two or three shootings in that park behind my house where people died. And I've lived there
Nice.
in 2 years. I can't remember a night where I didn't hear sirens up and down the street. And then the one night
Beautiful.
I was driving home from work, I remember they had cops posted out at each end of the neighborhood of the little allotment I was in, and
Hmm.
the cops were like, just go home and close your door and lock your door. We're looking for someone, was the response I got when I asked the cop what was going on. They had literally like 8 or 9 cops with their lights on and stuff, like posting out on all the corners
Beautiful.
around my house, basically. So
Nice.
yeah, it was a fun area. So, but
All
that was
right.
Canton.
That's just something. There's been some people I work with that are from that area, and they're like, "Yeah, Canton's a shithole. Couldn't
It
wait to
is,
get out
dude.
of there." I was like, "Yeah, I'm from Akron, so it's, not much better, but you
Yeah, they're
can have it."
close. They're close.
All right. But anyway, so you did your business. Did you like make sales calls or anything while doing that as well, or
Yeah, so when I managed the gym, I'm not like I totally missed the question. It was my routine, right? So
yeah.
should I go
No,
back to
I
that?
changed the subject on you, so that's on
Okay.
me. I
So I
couldn't
mean,
help it.
it is all good. It's more exciting for the viewers, so
I hope so.
I love it. I love it. But yeah, so I mean, I did some sales for the gym. I ended up doing a lot of the sales in person, I guess you could say. I ended up doing a little bit of hiring towards the end. Uh,
Oh, okay.
but I mean,
Hiring decisions. Okay.
yeah, it's scary. Put me in charge of hiring people. That definitely was scary. But when it came to the management part of the gym, it was still really tough because we had two trainers leave and we had to pick up one or two people fairly quickly.
Uh-huh.
So I ended up having to do a hell of a lot of training. I was on my phone all day moving schedule stuff around. I had to take calls when people were calling about the gym for sales.
Hmm.
I had to really make sure I instructed, who was there and trained people along the way. So the last like 2 or 3 months was it was easier. Okay, like the 6 to 8 months I was managing, the middle like 3 and 4 were the worst because that's like when it was a shit show. Like it was me and the owner, and we
Hmm.
are like just trying to frantically get everything together. Like I would have 5 people at one set times. I'm doing abs. I'm training them on this machine, and over here on this, it was a shit show.
How many
So,
hours a week did you work?
oh, minimum 60, 65
Yes.
minimum. I was there Monday through Saturday, open to close. So I would get there at like 6:30 because we didn't open till 7, so we had a fairly late open time. So I got there at like 6:30.
Hmm.
Wouldn't leave until like 7:30, 8 o'clock normally. Just fucking worked my life away. It felt like.
Mm. Yeah, I bet. I mean, 60 hours a week. I mean, it's doing it for a few weeks every once in a while isn't too bad, but if you got to do it like every week, it just.
Yeah, it was every week, dude.
Yeah.
Every week.
To me, unless I own the place, I'd rather not have to work that many hours.
Yeah, and that's the part that pissed me off is because I was there. I mean, I get it, it's the owner and shit, but that's the part that really made me frustrated because I'm like, look, you're paying me kind of garbage, honestly, to run this place. I was getting hourly still, not salary. I was
Do
getting
you
paid.
mind if I ask what your hourly rate
It was
was?
14.
I can see why that pissed you off. All right, go on.
So it wasn't
Got it.
like, I mean, I'm not saying it's shit pay. However, someone can now walk into Aldi as a cashier and get paid the same thing, basically.
Oh yeah. No,
And
I
not just shit on people who work at Aldi either, by no means. It's just saying that I had a lot of managing people and a lot of stressful work going on.
Yeah,
So
I agree. Yeah, no, it's not as you said, not to shit on people who make more than that doing less, but also like, if you're evaluating your own life and you're thinking, well, making this much, like,
yeah.
not gonna go protest that the government make you do it, but hey, why don't you value me more as an employee? So,
Right, right. So I mean, that was like the gist of it is that's how much I made. And it really just frustrated me because I'm like, I get it. The owner was like struggling a little bit and stuff, but it's still like, you got to get me some help.
yep,
Like, you got to give me
100%.
some help.
Give me more paper.
Or more employees, something. I mean, I'm
Uh,
fine either one.
that's true. 100%. All right, so obviously, well, actually, you said you made hiring decisions. I'll ask this one last question and then I'll transition to entrepreneurship. What would you say are some things you'd look for in a candidate when making hiring decisions?
For sure, for sure. So, I mean, one of the things too is I will say is because when I was hiring people, I mean, let's remember, I was 22 years old. So, I mean,
Still,
like, I mean,
what's this age stuff we talked about earlier, man?
right. I just want to like, that's a good point, dude. I just want to say that when it came to making those decisions, I mean, I was new, so I sucked at hiring, right? I told my boss what I thought of these people, and she sat in and listened to some of them. And the
Mhm.
people I thought were good, she didn't like, and the people she liked, I didn't like.
What were
So
the what were like the certain qualities that you saw and she saw?
I was looking for someone who could really help me out as an aspect of just train people that I was comfortable with. So I was looking more for knowledge and relatability with people.
Mm,
And I don't mean relatability as in like um someone who's just super friendly and like unknowledgeable. I mean like someone who could really help someone in the gym, like explain them,
100%.
like someone like explain the exercises, really talk to them and explain the benefit of them and things like that.
Gotcha.
Like
And what it mhm,
I'm looking for the knowledge,
mhm.
right?
Gotcha. And what was she looking for?
She was looking for strictly personality and who she can basically afford,
Gotcha.
right?
Okay. So
I
obviously
guess
there needs to be a balance between the two, I would
if I
think.
if I could put my thumb on it, I would say the best way to describe it is she was too picky, and I was like, I'll just hire anyone because I just want
Mm,
fucking help. so
gotcha.
I mean, that was kind of like the gist of it. But I mean, like when I say I would hire anyone, I'm still looking for the quality of okay, you're going to be on the floor training people, so I can do more management stuff.
Hmm.
So I need you to be super knowledgeable and comfortable, one, with the whole idea of training people and know what you're doing. And two, be able to talk to people and explain them in a way to want them to keep coming back.
100%. Okay. That would make sense. Okay. I don't know. You just mentioned hiring decisions. So it's like, all right, well.
Go for it, man.
What's
I'm
this
always
guy
down
looking for? All right. So kind of going from employee manager to entrepreneur, like what was that point you're like, all right, like what did you say it was COVID earlier? I don't want to just jump to that conclusion, but
Yeah, COVID was a thing that like caused the gym to shut down. So my owner shut the gym down because
I
he couldn't afford making payments and stuff on the place she had, all the machines and stuff. So COVID happened, and I'm like, I have no job, everything's
mhm,
shut down. So I was like, I gotta make this work.
yep.
I gotta make this online business thing work. So now I'm like, working my ass off, trying to build all my programs and get this all made up for people so I can start making sales and things like that. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like when it happened. So I kind of like lived off of savings. I did get that really, really nice unemployment for a few months. Not gonna
Oh,
lie,
I bet you did.
it was definitely it was the thing that saved me.
Hmm.
Honestly, is that saving allowed me again to work on like this business here
Yep.
and build what I needed to build and learn what I needed to learn to help start getting my feet wet to get some clients signed up and know what I was doing.
Yeah. See, someone who's actually using their stimulus check for more than just like drugs.
Right, dude.
Yeah. Oh man. I just want to know when I'm getting my hazard pay. Anyway, enough of that.
That
Uh,
was funny, dude.
but yeah. So, in what metrical ways has your business grown from when you started it to where you are right now?
You mean are we talking straight numbers?
Let's talk straight numbers and we can go into stories.
For sure, dude. I mean, like when I started out, it was rough, right? Like I
Hmm.
mean, I didn't really know what I was doing. I never used social media at all, so I never had a big social media following. My business coach was giving me wrong advice for where I was at. So not
Is
to
that
shit
the
on,
one you spent $10,000 on?
yeah, and not to shit on the dude because he is a phenomenal and smart guy. However, for me just starting out, I was getting advice and things that people who are 4 or 5 years into their business should be doing. Like we're
Hmm.
talking running Facebook ads, we're talking, building YouTube and building ads, paid ads and things like that.
Yep.
Not like what I'm looking into with no funds. I need organic growth and like
Yep.
free marketing type stuff. So I mean, it wasn't. I'm like I'm breaking my bank. I'm paying this dude $1,200 a month. All these software she's having me buy to use. I'm like spending almost 2 grand a month just on a business not pulling any income in.
Mm,
So
gotcha.
numbers wise, I mean, fuck. Last year I made maybe like 5 6K from training. That's it.
But you made a profit,
That's
right?
it.
That's profit, not
Well,
revenue.
if you look, I mean, yeah, 5 6K profit, but
Hey,
I mean,
first year of business. What'd you expect?
I didn't go under, so that's a good thing.
That is honestly like, I don't know, to me, I'm more of a like, you made it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I read things of people who like start business and it takes them years for it to take
Oh
off. Like, what
yeah.
do you expect to do it one day? So, no, you're still in the game.
I mean, it's crazy because and it was fairly rough up until like November, December. I really got a firm grasp when things just started to click for me in my mind. I started to really understand things a lot better
Hmm.
and understand people and the whole idea of where I wanted to go. Um, and now we're on pace to if we were to end out the year at the amount of clients and income we have right now, it would be 40K plus.
All right, all right. There
So
you go.
very, very, and I mean we're still growing, and we just signed a new member today. We have two more calls later this week. So I mean it's only going to continue to grow. But if we were to maintain where we are, which I mean, if I just maintain, I call that a failure,
Yeah,
honestly.
say I don't think, I mean, I just assume like as a business you should always want to grow, you
Oh
know. I
yeah,
mean, don't want to
right,
grow too fast, you know. They say that's one of the big mistakes. Be like Empire of Rome, build yourself too far to stretch and
right.
then it falls apart, but still
Right.
like you should want to grow.
For sure, dude, for sure. So I mean, that's like it's eye opening. Like I mean, we went from like struggling, like I had some people drop off, some people leave because they completed their program,
Hmm.
and then like January hit and we signed 10 members in a month, right? So it's
Hmm.
just I'm like, this is awesome.
There
Just
you
started
go.
picking up like really quick, and it is. I guess the biggest thing I learned too from it all is these are people and
Hmm.
human beings, and I guess it's probably when the biggest shift came is like you gotta stop looking at these people as a dollar sign, and you have to realize that these are human beings, and you're there to change their life, right?
Hmm.
So if there's like anything I've learned, it's just to be clear on why you're doing what you're doing, and don't do it just for the money. Yeah, we talk about numbers and the money, but
Yeah,
I really enjoy what I do every day.
100%, you know, right? I mean, you got to make sure you're clear, vision and goal, set the course and pace, not just shooting all over the place for no reason, right?
For sure, dude.
So.
for
Yeah, no.
sure.
So what's like your average age of your clientele? Are they probably like your age or like older, or what do you normally work
Y-
with?
You know, it like varies.
Hmm.
I've had a couple of people who are 50 years old. Like I have my oldest member right now is 51.
There you go.
But the majority of my clients are between the age of I mean I guess like the age of my clientele is around our age. I think I just so like 22, 30 in that range. So I think that the reason why I'm drawn to those people more is number one, um, I really feel like that there's a connection there, first of all, because of the age, but second of all, just because they see my story and I use my story a lot, and they see how I can go from being like such a terrible human being
Hmm.
to like someone who's actually a decent person.
Yeah.
Like
You
I'm
relate
just
to them better, yeah.
yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm some holy being because I'm not. I'm not even close to that. I'm just decent, right? Like I just know the only. I guess that's one thing that draws people because I know what I want. I know what I'm looking for when it comes to me personally. I guess
It
that
helps
draws
you.
people because they like the certainty of it.
Sure.
Um, but I don't know. The younger audiences seems to have this pull to me to where I hear it a lot. They think the story is inspiring. They like what I'm doing. They like the relatability. They like how I'm there to help them and walk with them through their journey.
Hmm.
So I'm a very personable coach. I mean, I do a lot of fitness, but we really do a lot of mindset stuff as well. So I really
Mindset
help.
stuff? Like,
Yeah.
give an
Like,
example.
so like we do a lot of scheduling for people as well, adjusting their schedule so they can fit the gym in their day. We do a lot of what we call limiting beliefs and really try to eliminate negative self-talk and use exercise and things like enforcing affirmations and working through and almost doing things like almost on a I don't want to say therapeutic level, but overcoming things like anxiety in the gym by making them do something as they're uncomfortable with, by getting them into new environments with the gym and overcoming certain fears as well when it
Hmm.
comes to like gym things. So I really try to shift people's mindset. Like a lot of negative self-talk is I'm not good enough. I don't belong here. I don't deserve to lose this weight. I'm gonna
Hmm.
fail again. This isn't for me. Right. A lot of
Gotcha.
comparison syndrome. Like,
Yep.
okay, this person has been in the program for 3 months. I've been in for 4 months. They've lost 20 pounds more than I've lost. It's just like we
Hmm.
eliminate that stuff. Like
Gotcha.
I really help people with that frame of mind.
Gotcha. So that's self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a real thing.
That's right. That it is.
All right. So what's like a good story, make me feel good, like someone who went through your program before and after. Use words. What do we got here?
Before and after, I got a few transformations. I got a few really good ones. I got a couple in the making.
All
Um,
right.
well, I mean, the one that I have that is probably my best is a shame in a way because of I want to choose my words carefully. It's kind of sad because of the person he became in the program, not from how I trained him, but from what he decided to do with his
Sure.
results.
And you can
Right?
use pseudonyms or don't have to use names. It's
Yeah.
just
Well,
example of a
well,
story.
we'll call him Carl.
Carl.
Okay.
Karl Marx. All
Well,
right, what do we got here?
we'll say Carl. So Carl here was he was actually one of my first clients, and he was really really good because he was a hard worker. He worked in the oil fields, so
Oh yeah,
12
definitely.
hour
Yep.
days. I mean, 10 hours at work, an hour to and from commute, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. He ended up working 43 days straight at one point. He was still able to cook and meal prep, still able to go to the gym 4+ days a week, right? Still able to do all of that. And he ended up losing, he worked for me for 5 months. He ended up losing, I think it was like 57 pounds in total.
Wow, how does a
Complete
guy that worked that often need to lose? I mean, like he's just like
Yeah.
working
Well,
that much.
he was 284 and he ended up weighing in at what's 84, 34, 229. Oh no, 222 was his all-time low, so he lost more than 57.
Oh,
So
all right.
222 was all-time low with me and 284 was his high when he started.
All
So
right.
I mean, it's just a lot of greasy food. He like eating pizza at the cafeteria, getting
Oh,
burgers, fast food, right? And
so
although
nice.
it's so good, but although you're eating, you're working a lot, and he would get 15, 20,000 steps a day for his job. I mean, people forget that calories are still calories, and just because you
Mhm.
do that hard work doesn't mean you can eat whatever you want.
Mm.
So, I mean, before you know it, this guy is at 3,500 calories for the day, 4,000 calories. And
Mhm.
yeah, he's got 20,000 steps, 15,000 steps, but the math doesn't add up.
Mm.
But I just commend him for the amount of work he put in. Um, and the transformation is literally, it's jaw dropping. Like in 5 months, the transformation he made, all eating over 2,000 calories every single day. He was eating like 2,400 calories, 2,200 calories, 2,500 in that range every day. So it's not a starvation diet. He's still
Mhm.
eating cheeseburgers. He's still going out to eat, every here and there throughout the week. Um, but I guess the part that's the most saddening is it's very, very hard for me to explain and stuff. Is he ended up focusing so much on the exterior of the changes he made and let him affect the person he became. Meaning he became very, very egotistical. Um, he
Mm.
ended up basically demeaning people in the process, letting his motives and personal beliefs get in the way and try to force that upon other people, almost disrespectful to the point. And actually, it played out straight out was disrespectful.
Mhm.
It's just a shame to see that how he acted towards the end of the program and to the person he was at the beginning.
Gotcha. So it was one of those clientele you're like, well, it was good working with you, but you're kind of becoming a cancer
Yeah,
to the rest
I
of my
mean,
clientele.
it was. I'm getting messages about how he's being an asshole to them and stuff behind my back, and how he's texting people and they don't like what he's saying. And
Mhm.
the problem of it with it is this: is because as I look at it now, I can see it and I experience it. I can catch it, see it people very, very often now.
Okay.
Whenever you do something like that, you make a life change as amazing as he did, because it was amazing. You have to fuel the right fire. So he's
Mhm.
fueling the pouring the gasoline on the ego fire, right? He's
Mhm.
letting the way he looks drive the person who he's becoming. And I'm a huge person of falling in love with the process and
Mhm.
falling in love with what you're doing and using the results you're getting to help other people as a way to inspire them and lead them and show them, not as a showboat, look at me, look at what I accomplished type manner. So you have to
100%, yeah.
fuel the right fire. And he poured the gasoline on the ego pile and lit that shit
Rut-row.
up. Lit it
Yeah.
up.
Because it's like, yeah, you may be this way one day, but life is a long process. So,
Yes, that is.
yeah. Rut-row. Okay. So, like, how, like, especially with all the COVID stuff, like, how do you bring your clientele together? Because obviously there's like a degree of community that's involved with this.
Hmm.
So it's an online business, but also there's community. So like what, you got like chat rooms, you meet up in person? Like how does your specific business model work with
For
this?
sure, for sure. So I'm huge on accountability, right? There's one thing that people are investing in when they join this program is they're first of all investing in information, right? Knowledge, speed, accountability, relationships. Those are the four things people are buying. Okay. So when you're looking at the communication aspect, everyone gets one-on-one access to me, right? Everyone gets one-on-one access to me. We also have a private Facebook community where everyone posts questions, daily, weekly wins. We have challenges. There's also
Mm.
live video trainings on Facebook Live in the private community as well. And every week, I also will do a like Zoom call as well, like we're doing here on the podcast.
Yep.
We'll do a big Zoom meeting and we'll kind of discuss what people are having struggles with, break it down, answer questions, and go over a brief training. Lasts about an hour. Um, a lot of like pre-recorded trainings I have in my Facebook group. I have what's called a unit section. So people can basically go through and watch some of the trainings I put up, things on vision, goal setting, morning routines, um, advice and tips on training. There's meal prepping. There's PDFs and videos on meal planning as well. So I got a lot of stuff in there. When it
Hmm.
comes to the whole community aspect, everyone is just really active in the Facebook community, and it's so fun. It's like seeing the wins.
Mm.
People like dropping gifs and shit and stuff, and
Wait,
oh,
say that again? Chiff?
gifs like the
Oh,
You say gift, don't you?
Yes. It's
Okay, so
whatever. Whatever. Go on.
people are
I'm
dropping gifts.
His credibility just down.
They're
Sell
dropping.
me this GIF. Oh, okay. Peanut butter. Anyway, so you got this community, so they'll post GIFs and all that, right?
Right. So it's just fun. I mean, we post those. I call them connection posts and
Mhm.
things like that, so people can have some fun. It's normally a controversial question, so people weigh in and they say their opinion. Then people are like play fighting. You can say in the comments and drop in their gifts, and it's just a fun time in there. So I love it,
Changed it
man.
just for me.
I
Whatever.
did, dude. I did.
What happened? I don't conform for shit. Whatever.
See that's a sales
What?
tactic. 'Cause I say what you want to hear, and I make it sound sexy, bro.
Oh, sure. It did sound sexy when I said it. Oh, whatever. Anyway. So what happened? So not if, but when the business grows and your community grows so big, because you say there's always one-on-one access, what's maybe like a scaling, like, I don't know, uh process? I don't know, I'm trying to think like the growth strategy here.
Mhm.
So like
Yeah,
obviously say you grow to like 200 clientele, they're not going to be able to all one-on-one
right.
access the Timothy Carr.
Hmm.
So do you have any ideas on how you would grow in that aspect, or is that something that you haven't that you want to circle back to in a long time?
Yeah, for sure. So I have an idea, and thankfully I do have a mentor here that helps me out with coaching and mentors me on leadership and things as well.
Hmm.
So when we get to that point, he's going to basically explain how all that happens. But I have a brief breakdown of it. Of what does happen is usually once you hit like the 40 plus client mark, right? Normally it tends to happen to where you need to start bringing in other coaches to help you. So that's where I would bring in another online trainer and show him how things work in the business. And then the clients that he would sell, he would mainly watch and take care of in the program, but they would also be in the private community. They would also be able to talk to one another. It would just be that he would be their head coach,
Gotcha.
right?
So it'd
So,
still be kind of like under the Tim Carr Fitness or the
yeah, yeah.
Beyond Just Fitness, right?
Yeah,
So
it was still all be considered beyond fit. It was still
Beyond
everyone's still
Fit.
under beyond fit. Like all the coaches, they would basically work for me, be a part of the team. But we would then probably transfer more towards using the Facebook group as opposed to one-on-one messaging all the time because I
Uh-huh.
still will use that. I tell all my clients there's a 24-hour response time. So because I am addicted to my phone, like I'm addicted to this thing, I'm glued on
Well,
it all day because
better than crack.
seriously, it is for
Yeah.
sure. But
Yeah.
because of that, I mean, I normally get back to messages fairly quickly.
Yeah.
I'll always have the 24-hour response time, but I'll
Hmm.
just have to have like if I have 200 clients, I want at least three or four other coaches with me,
Yep.
probably minimum four.
Kind of like that like I don't know if I call it like a pyramid structure, but like yeah, like kind of like structure it so then because you can't
Yeah,
get to everybody, so
right. I mean, and
yep.
the thing that you can do too is you can have the other coaches do some of the video training, so I don't have to do every single video presentation, right?
Mm.
So that way they're still seeing, other coaches and give their spiel as well.
Hmm.
However, they're still going to have the same philosophy that I have when it comes to training.
Gotcha.
Because I can't be having mixing philosophies. Like I can't be teaching someone what's called
That's true.
flexible dieting and someone here wants to do keto.
Yeah.
Like I can't mix that because that's not what we do.
Yeah, you don't want your structure to contradict itself, so
Right. I
that would
can't
not.
have that internal arguing and internal dilemma with
Gotcha.
other
So,
coaches.
so once COVID's over, you're gonna make like have your own like brick and mortar gym and take out like LA Fitness and all them, or what's the take over the world plan?
I mean, in time, I would love like I can just it would be so cool to have like Beyond Fit, like the gyms all over would be like killer. But
Hmm.
that's like way down the road because gyms cost a lot of money.
Yeah, they
They're
do.
not cheap. And all the equipment too is expensive. So I mean that's like big, like long-term goal to own a gym. Yeah, I would love to do that. I would love to do a mentorship program for like kids like who are kind of struggling in high school and things like that.
Hmm.
That would be really cool as well. I just want to have the gym in a way to give back and really like not be an asshole to personal trainers because you look at the personal training industry, they get paid shit. for all the work they put in. So I want to kind of do it to give back to that as well. But yeah, it
Gotcha.
would be cool to have gyms not really in the picture at the moment. I mean, maybe 10, 20 years down the road, possibly. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
Just like going back to the whole picking your major thing. Let's at least figure out what we want to do with today before we get.
Right.
But then again, leaders are supposed to look into the future. So,
Yeah.
ugh,
Little contradictory, but I mean,
yeah.
it's one of those things where I do look at the future, but
Hmm.
I don't let it control me and
Yep.
engross me, as in control how I feel in the present moment.
Yep. You
I
got to
do my
work what's best.
best. Yeah.
Yep. Got to work with what's best for you right now and
Right.
manage it as best as you can and look out for your people and do what's best for them. So, no, I
For
get
sure.
that.
I love it.
So, I got two more questions and then we'll kind of start wrapping it up. So, first question is this. As a coach, what is a lesson or piece of advice that you give that tends to most often fall on deaf ears?
Oh, so something, just to make sure you hear this, understand it right. Something that I say that people tend to ignore and not do.
Hmm.
Correct? Okay.
Yes, yep, yep. Sorry if my wording was a little weird. But yeah, something that you say, hey, we should do this, and then
They still don't do it. Yeah.
yes.
So I have two of them. The one of them I say is simple: consistency compounds. All
Hmm.
right, that's number one, because that's a pretty simple one there. Meaning, if you choose to do the right thing and the things that you need to do to see your goals and to be a better person every single day, it compounds if you're consistent with it.
Hmm.
Or on the flip side, if you consistently miss your workouts, consistently fuck up your nutrition, consistently you don't do anything for your mental health, that compounds, it gets worse too.
Hmm.
There's never a time where you're stagnant. So consistency compounds is one of them. The other one I have, and this is kind of a tongue twister, so I'm going to say it kind of slowly here.
All right.
But a lot of people are fearful. Okay, they're very, very fearful of the gym and things like that. So I tell everyone, the scariest part is the time you spend thinking about the act as opposed to actually doing it. Meaning the thought you have of, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, to actually going to the gym, you're more scared of that time waiting as opposed to actually doing, thinking you're going to fail, thinking it's scary.
It's actually a fair point. I think I
Mhm.
remember once hearing that well, this is gonna get a little dark, but when it comes to like the CIA and all them, like how they torture people and all that, they say that the fear of torture is more effective than the actual torture in of itself.
Yeah,
So,
seriously. And that's what fear is. I tell everyone fear is
mhm,
not real. It's just
mhm,
like a false narrative you tell yourself. So the longer you wait not taking action, the more that fear grows. And then the
mhm,
longer you're going to basically put off what you need to do to see the results that you want to see. So
mhm.
that's probably one of the things I say most people is the hardest part isn't doing it. It's the time you spend waiting, thinking that this is something that's going to hurt, when in all actuality it won't hurt you. You're only hurting yourself waiting longer.
Fair enough. But that's what the coach is there. You're the pep talker, push them that way, right?
That's right. That's why I give them a swift kick in the ass if they need
There you go. Just don't get your foot stuck up there.
it.
All
For
right.
sure.
My last question, then we'll wrap this up. So I guess I don't know if this is more like a question or just like a let's kind of wrap it up with this. So, uh, you're a businessman, you got to sell your product. So what's your final sales pitch, value proposition, whatever you want to call it? Like I am random clientele and then I don't know. Obviously you're gonna be like, well, what do you want? Well, we're gonna just cut that shit off right now. So like you as a business, what is like, hey, someone listening into this right now, they made it to the end, kind of like your final call to action, if you will. What is that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, I think the biggest thing is, I tell everyone this is, my passion is to help aspiring leaders who want to live their fullest potential by mastering their habits, their fitness, and their mindset. So this is for someone who wants to change, someone who's looking to change more than just their body. That's why we say it's beyond fit, right? Like the clients I have, we do whatever it takes to achieve our goals. So
Hmm.
for people who are out there looking for a change, for people out there who are looking to get into fitness, like straight up, like you have to have the mindset to do whatever it takes if you want to get in this program. I only work with certain people because I only want those leaders. I only want people who want the best for themselves. And
Mm,
I'm not trying to like turn people away, but I just say that because um, it's just very important that when you get into something like this, you realize you're getting a yourself into a lifestyle.
hmm.
Right? This isn't a get rich quick fix type deal. That's not what I'm about. I'm about sustainability, long term change, and long term benefits for the rest of your life.
Hmm.
Like I'm in the business of helping you change your life, not just take your money.
Gotcha. Gotta get that paper. Define leader. You said aspire. You said work with leaders. So define leadership.
Yeah, aspiring leader, someone who wants to be shining example. And that's kind of a generic statement, but I mean someone who wants to basically take control of their life, someone who wants to show others, you know, what you can do for yourself. Like be
Mm,
the example. A leader is someone who wants to be the example, take responsibility and take the reins of their life
mm.
and actually do something with it. That's a
Gotcha.
leader in my eyes. Like to me,
Gotcha.
you not I don't mean like you have to be a CEO, Fortune 500 company. That's bullshit. Like a leader can be someone working, a normal job as an accountant. That
Hmm.
can be a leader for me if you have the mentality, outside of that. Like, okay, I'm going to
Hmm.
lead this accounting business to this result, right? I'm going to be the example. I'm going to show them. That's a leader
Gotcha. So someone who influences other people
in a positive
in
way.
a oh, there you go, in a positive way.
That's right.
I like it. Good definition. All right. All right. Well, it's been a fantastic conversation, Tim. Thank you for joining me today. It's been
Thank
a
you for having me. Yeah.
wonderful. I am I think we've been at least past the 1 hour and a half mark, so it's been a very good conversation. So, to finally wrap this up, if you have one final piece of advice you'd like to share with the audience, what would that be?
Um, it's funny because I asked you what it was, and I'm gonna keep it the same because I didn't
Okay.
remember. I didn't remember what I showed you when
Yep.
you sent me the form.
Yep. Yeah.
Um,
We talked about this before we started recording in case anybody's like, well, when did you say
well,
that?
because I forgot. So I mean, I forget a lot if I don't write it down. So, but anyways, my last piece of advice is I like to have the idea that transparency and the truth will always win in the end.
Mm,
Like no matter how harsh the truth can be or how hurtful something may feel, as long as it's said in a way that's to help you, it's gonna be the key. So like no matter
mm,
what you do in life, like you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna like me. My life is a huge fuck up. Like from like 18 until like
mm.
like 20ish. It was just actually before that. But
I
anyways,
guess a period of fuck ups as you,
yes. So
but
I
the
guess
end, it's how you finish the race, right?
that's right. So I guess that's why I say that because kindness and transparency will always win in the end.
Hmm.
It's just there's no way around it.
Gotcha. All right. Sounds good. Do you have any additional shout outs to anybody you'd like to say, hey,
I mean, I honestly can't think of any. Oh, Michael Hopkins is one because he was a huge help and huge friend of mine. You know Michael Hopkins as
I know
well.
him. Yep. Yep.
He's actually in the program.
Yeah. There you go.
He
Go,
actually,
Mike.
Mike's killing it, dude. He's
That's
awesome.
good.
So,
I
shout out to him. And then, I've been talking to Ben Shabib a lot. I don't know if you remember Ben.
I remember him, but I didn't know him that
I've
well.
been talking to him a hell of a lot recently. So, shout out to him because he's just
Mm,
got a photography business going with the sister, and they're just doing awesome. So,
gotcha.
love it. So,
So is
shout out
he
to
the
those
one
two.
that takes your pics?
No, I do those myself, which I need him.
Oh,
I need him to help me because my pictures aren't that good. I'm not
you
a
said it,
photographer.
not me. I seem fine, but all
My
right.
pictures need some work, so Ben's gonna help me with that.
There you go. It's one small business owner to another.
That's right.
All right. Anything else?
I believe that's it, my man.
All right. Well, thank you, Tim. It's been a fantastic conversation. Thank you, great audience, for tuning in and listening. And well, like always, have a nice day.